welcome to D&D. Is everybody else ready?
Yep.
Yeah, ready.
Alright. So, last time on D&D, in Starfall, you guys went further through the Feyworld and crossed a pretty sketchy bridge in probably the most creative way that I could have imagined, because I super didn't. I thought somebody was going to have to cross the bridge, and you didn't. You managed to do awesome. So 2 people got inspiration for that. And you went on from there and saw some little floating flame dudes. You saw some will-o'-the-wisps. I'm not going to pretend to, oh, what are those? And then you found a hedge. Oh, you did have, during your rest at one point, you had something come in and tap on the little bubble over you guys from the tiny hut, but it didn't seem to be able to see you guys in there, so everything was fine. You came up to the hedge, and Skinna did divination and tried to figure out which way to go. And that led you guys towards the gate. And then you met Sipal, the warden who creates her garden out of prisoners. So, that's fun. And then it was off to meet the Monarch to ask permission to go through and just kind of get a general free to pass card, basically. So yeah, you guys are being led up. Sipal does stop you at the top of the stairs, just inside the doors. It says, "Wait here," and then goes in, and there are guards at the door that are keeping an eye on you. Kind of making sure, like, oh, you're in, now you're staying in. And she walks off, presumably to go fetch the Monarch. What are you guys doing in the meantime? Last time, Skinna used a spell on Ice to give him, was it advantage on
Tongues.
Charisma? Cool.
Wait. No, if it was enhance ability, then yeah, it was sorry, let me double check. Just want to get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, advantage on charisma checks. And I think she cast tongues on him? I don't remember. No, I don't have that many spell slots missing. Never mind.
No. You did previously cast tongues on the Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, is about at the top of the stairs, not through the doors, and is, like, staying put. Okay, so that is still active. That was my little brain travel thing. So yes, that advantage on charisma is still active. So yes, what's everybody doing? I'll give you guys a moment to kind of discuss in character, if you would like, the plan here.
Well, thankfully, Jules gave me a heads up as to what Kaleva would know about this, so he is going to gather everyone around. So, this court is, it's neither seelie or unseelie. It's its own thing entirely. The Monarch is amicable, but fickle. You just don't disrespect them in any way, shape, or form. They have a bad habit of turning people into pieces of their garden. So, they like creativity, they like diplomacy, and it's usually a bad idea to piss off anyone they're friendly with. But that's fairly standard as far as Fae go.
So what's offensive?
Being rude.
Okay, I was just making sure, because, like, in some places I can wave hi to somebody and it'll be great, and in other places if I wave hi to somebody, they throw things. So I was just making sure.
I think you might have been in places that were more hostile than the ones I've been in.
Depends on the attitude. I would say waving is probably not the best approach.
Yeah, just treat them respectfully. I'd say you're probably the most diplomatic of us here.
I don't know, I think you're a fair hand when you try to be.
Okay, we'll put it this way.
Oh, go ahead.
We'll put it this way, you're nicer than I am.
Ah.
I was gonna say exuberance, just snickering in the background.
Right.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Oh, and might be in sensory overload.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, so you guys are eventually, Sepal comes back, and you are led further into the castle, and it is an extravagant place. Lots of, like, marble and white stone is kind of what went into the architecture of this building. There are, like, colorful rugs and curtains everywhere. None of them really match, but they all manage to look good together nonetheless. You were led down this hall and then around a corner, and she gestures and kind of levels you all with a very, like, I'm watching you kind of gaze, and is like, through those doors, the Monarch is waiting to speak with you. They do have guests at the moment, so mind yourselves.
Thank you kindly. And I suppose we go through the doors?
Hang on 1 second, puppy's barking.
That was the cutest tiny bark I've ever heard.
Okay, I'm here.
Welcome back.
Thank you. He was just throwing a tantrum.
You know, puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys are heading towards the door?
Yep.
Alright. so you walk in, and there is a person sitting at a table, almost like it was their desk. And they have very rich dark skin, dark brown, and they are wearing an assortment of patterns and textures of clothing in various colors, and they are covered in paint splotches. And little crystals and flowers float in almost a halo around their head, sort of as their crown. And seated on either side of them at the table are Pox and Pilfer, who look up as you guys come in and then grin, and both of them lean in and start whispering to who you can only assume is the Monarch. Very over the top, one hand, between their mouths and you guys, whispering. Seem to be absolutely delighted by the fact that you guys are here now.
And thighs and his shoulders slump.
The Monarch looks between them and then looks at you all and stands, and they look exceptionally young, like maybe 15, but they are an elf. And this is the Feywild, so who can really say?
Clearly, this is the childlike empress.
I mean, yeah, duh. No. And they stand with a paintbrush in hand and kind of look you all over, and then give a sort of smile and a half bow and say, "Please, introduce yourselves."
So Ice will bow fairly formally. I'm not sure that it's necessarily an appropriate one, but something he picked up from, somewhere. And how would he say that? A pleasure to meet you. I'm called Summer.
Kaleva will bow his head and shoulders. You can call me Zero.
Owen will copy Ice in his strange little bow and look up and seem puzzled for a moment, and then finally figures it out and goes, "I'm Charlie."
Scanna does a little bow too and just goes, Bones.
I actually don't remember what Exuberance' nickname was.
Didn't we put it in notes somewhere?
Oh,
yeah. Striker.
Striker,
yes.
That's right, yes. She actually was too enamored with everything, looking at the Monarch and the twins, and didn't notice anybody else bow and just waves, "I'm Striker." And then X gives a nod, a deep nod, and says, "And I'm X." And the Monarch sort of nods along with each one of you, and then gestures to the table where there are exactly enough seats for all of you, and says, "Please, have a seat."
We'll go sit.
To wait until she sits before my ass hits the chair, but other than that, I'll pick one and wait.
Did you count us as we were coming in? This is in a really amazing place setting.
So Paul gave me the number.
Also, Owen's not even gonna think about it. She's already in for a penny, in for a pound, and aware that this has gone awry, but just sits her ass down in a chair and stares at the ceiling for a minute.
There is a mural across the ceiling. depicting all sorts of fey creatures running around with other fey creatures, and it's all color swirls and messy, and it's actually really pretty though. X will go ahead and sit. Exuberance will stand awkwardly next to Ice and wait. Not really sure why he's waiting, but she's gonna follow his lead. The Monarch does eventually sit down.
I will sit as well.
Zero, look at the ceiling.
Hastily sits.
Sorry, what was that?
Owen says, Zero, look at the ceiling, because she's really excited that there's this beautiful art she knows. She's seen him draw, and she's wanting to share the experience. Pointing, excited.
He tilts his head back and looks up and he goes, "Oh, wow. Huh.
Do you like it?
I do.
Thank you. I did it.
You have a lot of talent.
Appreciate it. So, I hear you're all traveling through my court to get somewhere. You haven't said. And you have a watcher following you?
He's our guide? With a sort of questioning look at Skenna.
Skenna just kind of shrugs and nods a little. That was the arrangement that we had with him, yes.
You made an arrangement with it?
More or less.
May I ask what the arrangement was? I'm very curious. They don't do that sort of thing very often.
Well, they were following us quite dedicatedly over the course of days. And I asked them several times if there was something they needed from us, and as their title seems to imply, they specified that they were just observing. And we had a small conversation wherein I asked if they would be so kind as to help us navigate the Feywilds. We're obviously not natives. And they agreed, since they were walking with us anyways. It seemed unnecessary for them to trail us from several yards when they could just travel with us.
So it's joined you. Of course, it won't come inside. To be honest, I'm not sure I would... I can't say I would qualify it as much of an arrangement. It doesn't get very much out of you all in return, other than watching, and it already would have done that. Those things, they're interesting creatures. The way they're made is fascinating. But all they ever want to do is watch. Unless you kill one. That's usually a bad idea.
I don't think we had any plans to do that.
Ah, that's good. You're at least a bit smart. Some travelers through here are less so. So, good to hear.
We did leave an offering to the Watcher prior to the arrangement that may have influenced its decision to guide us.
And what was that?
Some food and a painting.
Where have they been keeping it?
That is a good question. I don't know.
like I said, fascinating creatures. So you left it a painting. You paint? Who paints?
Leva kind of hesitantly lifts his hand a little bit.
X halfway does the same and then puts it down.
It's gonna squints a little and is just like, I've done some technical drawings. It's not painting.
No, it certainly isn't. But very technical, which is, the name. So it makes sense. But they are handy. I'll give you that. So you left it a painting of what?
Of the Watcher.
Oh. Huh. Painting of itself. And then it agreed to follow you and show you. Curious. Very vain. Interesting. Not what I would have expected. And I usually know what to expect from them. I might have to talk to him about why he made them that way this time. Oh well. Regardless. So because of that arrangement, you declined my dear friends here. They gesture to Pox and Pilfer, who give you smiles that look like a shark smiling at dinner. Like, it's uncomfortable.
Owen stares right back, unblinking.
Correct. We did not feel the need for additional guides. Sorry, yeah, puppy's throwing a tantrum. Again.
Good. How did you talk to the Watcher?
I have magic that allows me to temporarily transcend language barriers.
Ah. Very useful indeed. You are a very useful person, it seems. Your technical drawings and the making of arrangements and the magic spells.
I try to earn my keep, I suppose. Thank you.
And then you with the paintings. Very smart. Did you beat it as a gift? Or you called it an offering?
It was
that
originally...
within the Feywild?
No, it was before we entered the Feywild.
Ah. Well, you see, I'm left in a bit of a conundrum. Because my friends came to me quite upset. You went through their forest, I understand it, without asking permission. And then turned down their help in favor of someone from technically outside our court. But you did it correctly with the Watcher. And you did already halfway have a guide. I wouldn't... That's the bit that catches me. Because they're not made to guide. So I can't help but wonder what sort of guide they've been.
We've told them where we're going and the kind of things that we need along the way, such as safe places to rest, and they've gotten us there. And anytime we address them with a question about the environment, they have answered in what I can only ascertain is truthful. it's been a very apt arrangement. I don't know if it would go so far as to be considered some manner of deal, because, as explained, there's not been a whole lot of transactional quantity, but it seems mutually beneficial in some regard, and I think we were quite content with it. We don't mean to cause any offense, though.
I suppose you are outsiders. Although... And they kind of look around the table and then squint at X a moment. And then kind of tilt their head a little bit. Say, not all of you are new. But new to me. So I suppose I will allow the indiscretion. You've caught me in a good mood today. But I will require some things from you before you can leave here. I need to know where you're going and why.
We are making our way toward a village of tieflings. We just got caught up in the Feywilds trying to get there.
A whole village like you.
Yes.
Well, that sounds boring.
For some, it may be safer, though.
I suppose. Where's the spice of life, though? I mean, this group of you, you're all very varied, very interesting individuals. You do have two... What are you? From the something with the punching? I've seen people like you before. They kind of point at Ice and Exuberance.
Yes. Something like that.
So, not super unique. But you are at least different things. Although you do also have two tiefling here. I'll allow it. Okay. So you're going to a tiefling village. Why?
Leva shrugs at that and looks toward X.
I need to run them some information and introduce my friends here to them. They've never been there before, so it's a bit of a trip of introduction. And the Monarch kind of nods along again. I have another question for you all, and it's a bit different. Unrelated of sorts. You see, I've never left the Feywild. I've never left my court. Beyond my court, in the rest of the Fey realm, is a bit dangerous for someone of my standing to venture. And it's becoming more so. But I've certainly never been to your realm. material plane, something like that. Anyway, I've never been there, and I was wondering if you have a problem with light eating your magic there?
No, not with that.
No, not specifically.
Have you ever had a problem with light eating things?
Can I insight check to get a feel for what her read of us is at this point? Their read of us is at this point?
Oh, sorry. Sure. I answered you out loud and forgot I was muted.
So 11. Or, excuse me, 17.
Okay. So they're very curious. You guys are a fascinating group for them. Pox and Pilfer look disappointed at this point because nobody got in trouble, and what the heck? And they thought they were going to see a show, and they didn't. You've all been very tactful. But the Monarch, at least, while they were initially like wary of you all, they seem more curious now, and like really interested in what you're all doing and why, and like what your experiences are at this point. So more curiosity than anything hostile or defensive, if that makes sense.
Then we have something of an opposite problem, actually. Not that it has taken direct action in this way, but there is a thing that we are starting to struggle with, called the Light Eater.
Oh, now that sounds like a problem we could use help with. I mean, it could come here and eat our light, right?
We have reason to believe it's the same entity that's giving your people grief.
Less convenient.
Something about its abilities becoming somewhat of an inverse in the Feywild versus the material plane.
I suppose that's not unheard of. Can you imagine how useful that would be, though? Our light could go to your plane, get rid of this darkness thing, and your darkness thing could come here and get rid of our light eater. Oh wait, you called it that, but ours is a light that eats. It's...
Again, that would sound like a remedy if they were two separate entities. I believe that they're the same entity, which means it cannot very well eat itself.
Yes, no, of course.
Well,
not practically. You can't expect it to reasonably.
that's fair.
It'd be like a snake eating its tail. Eventually it would get to the part that would not work like that anymore. You have snakes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh,
they?
good.
Yeah, what the fuck
They.
is a they? Yes, they. That doesn't sound good.
Oh fuck, what do they call them?
About Majesty.
You know what? She's just gonna say yes.
That works. Yeah, and the thing I'm pulling them from, they are only just the Monarch. It would be nice if they would put that in, but that's okay. So yeah, they look thoughtful. How long have you been dealing with this light eater of yours?
A few weeks.
Well, us specifically, only a few weeks. It's, I believe, been an issue a bit longer than that.
So we've been led to believe, at least.
Yes.
But you don't know how long?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We first encountered evidence of it about 10 years ago, but we didn't know what it was at the time, and nobody would tell us otherwise.
I believe the things that we've heard have implied something about, well, something indicative of it being around for a great deal of time, potentially centuries. I'm really not, it's very fuzzy information.
I see. So, well, with time working differently between the two places, it's hard to peg it down with that, I suppose. But it's possible it could be something that either started in your realm and came here, or started here and then left. Either option sounds less than ideal for both of us. It's been encroaching as of late, and I do not like what that means for my people. You haven't encountered it here, have you?
In the Feywilds?
Yes.
No, not to our knowledge, I don't believe.
That's a shame.
What about the other Watcher?
Oh. Yes, when we were approaching, I don't believe we were all the way in the Feywild yet, but they stopped and seemed very strongly affected by something for a moment, and when I was later able to ask them about it, they said that they had felt someone else of their kind die. But I don't believe they were able to specify where or how. I take it that's not a largely common occurrence for one of them to die?
Not typically. It depends on where they wander. When one of them dies, all of the others, they are instantly aware of it. Who's done it? And they usually know where, and obviously exactly when. But the how is a bit messier, and they only have a vague sense of the exact location. But it does make the rest of them stronger.
Oh, well, the Watcher was, I asked them later to try to describe to me the individual that they knew was responsible, and based on the description, it's not anybody that I've encountered in my life knowingly, but I suppose they have that information if it would maybe be useful to you or yours.
It may be. Again, it depends.
Hey, Jules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is something I made up in my head as a suspicion or not, but did the Watcher hint that it was a cultist of the Light Eater, or
it was someone
it just my
tainted?
Own theory? Someone tainted.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was described as like Lark.
Okay.
Yes. It was described in very difficult to understand terms because they think on a whole different,
I do remember that, like,
wavelength.
Skinner
Yeah.
got, like, a really good insight or something, and so she would
Yes.
have translated that, I guess, to the best of her ability to everybody else.
Yeah, you would have put together that it was somebody similar to Lark as far as being tainted by the Light Eater, but it didn't offhand sound like anybody so specific.
So yeah, in that case, Kaleva would speak up and say, the way the Watcher described the one that killed their sibling, or whatever they would be called, was a minion of the Light Eater. So,
or perhaps someone deeply tainted by them. We're not entirely clear on how that works either.
Yeah.
We've encountered one such person, but obviously that's not sufficient to really understand what's going on.
What was that person like?
Well, they were a Pahurua, and she kind of gestures towards Owen, the same race as our friend here. And it was, well, if you've not been to the material plane, then giving the names of places probably won't mean anything to you. But they were very aloof and mysterious and not quite... They were a bit morally crooked. They were living in a village of other Pahurua, and they had only been there a fairly short while, just a couple months, I believe, and we later were able to find out that they were using their presence there and their shop and everything as some manner of front, I suppose, so that they could work on some manner of ritual meant to aid the Light Eater, and I believe they got substantially far with it before we were able to catch on to it, and we fought them and they died, but we were then able to look at their body, and they had markings like tattoos all over their back, and their wings had turned black and diseased almost looking towards the ends, and whatever they had willingly done to themselves in this interest, it looks like it was slowly killing them.
Well, that's not ideal.
No, it's...
For them.
It's a curious matter of someone who would, I guess, be so interested in that cause that it doesn't matter to them their own self-preservation anymore, as long as they're furthering this entity's desires, but that might be a philosophical topic for another time.
Yes, today is not one of those moods. Although I do like those conversations. So perhaps if you ever come back by here, we can have one. I sometimes like those talks.
Certainly.
As they were talking... Sorry.
Go ahead.
As they were talking about Lark and having to find her and kill her, Kaleva kind of subtly just swings his tail around and gives Owen a little pat because he knows she was upset about that.
Yeah.
She's definitely appreciative of it, and just kind of sitting with stiff shoulders while she listens and mouths thank you.
We do have occasionally some of our citizens will try to make a pact of sorts with the living light It's one of my highest, most highly punishable offenses. We'll call it that. They offer up large parts of themselves to let this thing give them magic, and it's just awful. Because then they get to spread it around, and it's eating the magic of our land, and they're just using it like it's a best friend, and it's awful, and I hate them, and so they get to be a garden now.
Do they create plants that are also tainted and gross, or are you able to purify that element?
No. So when Sepal makes them plants, it yanks out most of what makes them them. And just keeps them locked away in their heads like a little, like a bug that can listen, but they can't do anything. And then their bodies become plants, and their heads become a rose, and they're truly beautiful. Have you seen the garden?
We have on our way in. You're right, I've never seen anything like it before.
It's gorgeous. And sometimes I'll let them turn back. But usually they just make excuses or try to fight me, and that never ends well for them. They probably would have been better off as flowers, because then at least they were pretty.
You turn their ugliness into beauty.
I do. And I turn their magic-sucking, horrible pact into more nature to surround my court.
Efficient.
Yes. Some people don't like it, but they don't verbalize it to me. And it is at about this point in the conversation that a large, like literally size large, dog question mark with antlers and very long curly fur. Well, not very, very long, but it's long. Walks into the room and sits down behind the Monarch, and because she is so large, she can do so and easily still see everybody. Sits down, and those little will-o-wisps are kind of following her, and then like teeny tiny ones just kind of like pop up and float and drift off of her every now and then. And the way that she looks, if you look at her directly, she almost shimmers in and out of like reality, like kind of ghostly, ethereal looking, but she is solid. And the Monarch looks delighted to see her and says, "Oh, Chitin. Good, good. Have a seat. We have guests." And Chitin looks around at all of you and then says, "So these are the ones my will-o-wisps sensed. I see they led you all here safe and sound."
If that was your guidance that we have to thank for bringing us here, then thank you.
I would not call it guidance, but I suppose if it works that way, then good. I hope the memories that spawned as you drew close to the castle were not too unpleasant. They have a tendency to follow me, and especially close to home.
It was nothing we couldn't handle.
Oh, good. I heard talk about the living light and something similar. I trust. Well, I wonder, is the Monarch asking you all for help? And Kaiden kind of looks down at the Monarch, who shrugs. It sounds like they're on a mission. I don't know if they'll be willing. I suppose the most I can ask is if you run into anything on your way through that is a bit glowier than usual. And I mean, things glow here, sure, but if it radiates light and it seems to be sucking magic into itself, kill it. Just obliterate it. Do whatever you have to do, make it dead. And in return, I let you pass through without making you stay and passing a trial.
I'd say that sounds fair, and it accomplishes... It works toward both of our goals, since the entities we are fighting are one and the same.
Yes, it's more than fair.
All right. Well, I suppose then I can't think of any other questions, and it's bothering me. I had so many questions, and then you all came in, and you were so pleasant. And now I can't think of any more questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Not that I can think of.
And they are going to kind of look at each one of you in turn. Like, you? No? Okay. What about you? And X and Exuberance both kind of shake their head, although Exuberance looks like she would love to ask like 8 bajillion questions, because she's never been out of the monastery, much less into the Feywild. And here's the Monarch, but like she can't think of any either. So she's just kind of like, no.
I think it's the same overwhelming sensation for Owen, who is kind of just blank. Her fingers are definitely twitching though, and she's looking at the antlers. But no questions, nothing useful.
Oh, do you want to see what Chitin looks like?
Yes. Yes.
It's the best picture I can get at the moment. I'll show you the Monarch too.
Exactly what my brain just did, Izzy.
Yep.
I'm so glad you're on the same page. I'm just.
And here's the Monarch.
Oh, the Monarch's adorable.
I love their design so much.
That is so disarming.
Right?
Yeah, and I'll tell y'all now, you do not want to fight the Monarch. Please don't fight the Monarch. I don't want to end the campaign here. Okay. So what about let's see, did Ice and Skinna answer?
She just shook her head.
What about Ice?
No. Ace has no questions.
Okay. And I am muting between talking, so you can totally like talk more. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
All right. So the Monarch does look a bit disappointed, like, oh, nobody has questions for me. Okay. But Chitin just kind of gives them a nod, like a little nudge to the back of the head, and they kind of let it go. And Pox and Pilfer stand up, and Pox like squints around at all of you. He looks very irritated, but heads for the door. Pilfer gives you all a like sickly sweet smile. He's like, "Fine, we didn't want your stories, anyways. They sound boring," and then blows a raspberry and heads for the door.
That was rude.
Oh, don't mind them. They'll be just fine. Later, at some point, eventually. You might not go back through their forest, though.
I'm going to agree with that and guess it was a very bad idea.
Mm-hmm. But I suppose I'll walk you out. I'll walk you to the entrance and see you all off towards your tiefling village. As boring as that sounds. And they hop up, and Chitin actually stands and walks along with them. And they head for the door and kind of usher you guys after them. And Sapal is like immediately outside the doorway, like ready to jump him if anything went badly. And she just kind of straightens and smooths out, like, play it cool. And like they lead you all out, kind of as they walk, kind of talking about, oh, I painted that, and do you see that over there? I did that too, and that thing, and like telling you all about their wonderful castle and all of the art in it and how it's all theirs, and they worked so hard on it, and like they called the Watcher vein, but it's clear that also spread to them. It just kind of is a, like, you know, they're Fae. Fae are a bit vain.
Rightly so.
Yeah. And they lead you guys out and stop near the entrance. The doors are closed with the guards on the other side. And they kind of look around at all of you and say, well, if you do come back by, I am going to require some stories out of you all about your adventures and your monsters that you've killed of this light thing or dark thing, depending on, I suppose, where it happens. And dinner. We will have to have dinner, and there may be a ball, and if there's a ball, you have to attend. I'm not asking.
I think that sounds fair.
Of course.
I already have decorations for my wings.
I do love your wings. They're very lovely. You know, I think we've had some Paharua come through here before, and they're usually quite nice. They fit in well with the Fae. I think you would fit in quite well here if you ever wanted a place to live.
That is very tempting, and thank you so much. I love my wings too, but I love your paintings even more.
Thank you. Flattery will get you very many places here. Just an FYI. But it sounds like you're all on some sort of slightly boring, sometimes interesting mission. I'm not really sure. I'll let you go. And Chiton, I'd like to have a word with you, so you have to stay. So Paul, you can go back to whatever you were doing in the garden. And I suppose, hopefully, your watcher friend is still outside. They do have a tendency to wander. But have fun! And they kind of give you all a flourishing, like, curtsy bow combination, and then, like, drift off, like, floating on their belly with, like, a hand propped under their chin, and, like, they're painting in the air, and it is, like, holding them up like a flying carpet almost, but made out of paint. Which may be why they're covered in so much paint.
Maybe.
Yeah, and they paint themselves off back towards their little office type room. And the doors are opened for you all, and Sepal sweeps an arm out for you all to leave. Still giving you all a very stern look.
Thank you for your help. And for your kindness.
I wouldn't call it either of those things. I was doing my job, but you are welcome nevertheless.
You remind me of X. He was pretty grumpy too.
Leva coughs into his wrist.
The look that X and Sepal simultaneously give Owen, like, this is the stink eye compared with, like, what the hell? And X just sort of, well, and turns and walks out.
She may or may not notice. She just simply smiles and follows after him for a minute, going, I'm not wrong.
Leva mutters under his breath, she's really not.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna say anything.
And Sepal walks out after you all and heads back into the maze of Rose Garden. And pretty much lets you guys start to head out. The Watcher is not exactly where you left them, but they are still within the garden, nearer to the gate.
Listen up for government work.
Yeah. And they're facing the gate when you guys walk up, and their head just like does a full swivel and tilt to look down at you guys. And then it turns to face you all and just waits. Almost like it didn't know how to open the gate to get back out. So it was just kind of gonna hope somebody came by. Yep.
Well, I hope you weren't bored.
It just kind of tilts its head the other way.
About as much as I expected.
Watcher, would you be willing to make a slight amendment to the path that we take to our destination?
It tilts its head the other direction, a little more slowly, like,
I know that we specified originally that we were looking for the fastest route to get to our destination, but I think it may be wise if we instead take our time and go for the safest route instead. Would you be willing to guide us in that fashion?
There's like a long moment of pondering. It kind of tilts its head back and forth a couple of times and then gives one singular nod.
Thank you.
And then turns to face the gate again.
Whoever will open the gate for the Watcher.
Hold on, I lost a headphone. I'm borrowing Foster's, and they're like just slightly too big, and so they keep falling out as I talk. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. So the gate is open. It waits for you guys to start off first, and then starts walking along beside you. But it does kind of almost herd you a little bit. And you're heading in almost the same direction. There is a slight tilt to it. Like if you had been going straight, it's like make a slight left. Not a full left, but a slight left in Google Maps.
Yep.
And you are on your way again. You've successfully, like bravo, you guys made it out of the court without like messing anything up. Good job. Yeah. And I will say, as you guys head out of the gate and head on your way, I would like everybody to roll me a quick perception check.
Do I get my advantage?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, ouch. I got a 4.
Ooh.
I rolled 3d20s between Skenna and Gummy. I got, without modifiers, 5, 5, and 3.
Oh my god.
Ouch.
Yikes. So I need to...
So
I forgot to pull up my sheets.
9 for Gummy and slightly less for Skenna. 8. 9 and 8.
Okay.
Thank God for ice.
Yep. Let me roll. Oh, excuse me. Let me roll a couple things really quickly. Alright. Oh god. Hey Justin, do you have a drink that I can just take a sip of?
Would you like one of your own?
No.
You can have one. I got a whole case of them.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Oh my god, I forgot it will show my rolls for exuberance. Okay. Well, cool. Okay. So as you guys walk out, Ice is actually the only person who hears, like, in the direction that Sepal went. You hear kind of a pained, not quite scream, and it's a male voice.
So not Sepal.
Correct.
So that will get an ear twitch and like a head tilt as he listens to hear more. But I don't think he'd comment on it.
Okay. Alright.
I kind of want to, but also like this is somebody doing their job that we probably don't want to fuck with, so I'm not gonna share this in the hopes that nobody else will want to fuck with it if they don't know about it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all. Oh, that's weird. Now I'm starting. Oh, wait. No, it's good. There for a minute, I was starting to echo through Justin again.
But I'm leaning a little further back.
You are. That's fine. I'll just lean a little bit and then we'll be even again. So, but this way at least we don't have to deal with Foster's echo and my echo and Foster, so it's good.
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys keep going. Ice, you've heard something unpleasant.
We might talk about that later.
Yeah, that might be good. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so you guys head off and you're going again a slightly different direction, but still trucking along. And then see, I'm trying to remember. Was the bridge and this all the same day? It was. Yes?
So.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they would like to talk about as you travel leading up to eventually making camp? Because time does work a little funky in the Feywild, and it is already starting to near towards evening as you are heading off.
Not that I can think of.
I don't think so.
No, but I think she will play her dulcimer just quietly, not strumming as hard as she can while they walk.
Aww.
I love that. You do get the occasional, like, little pixie kind of flying alongside you guys for a little bit as you play the music, because, you know, they like music.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. So actually, just for fun, Roll me a performance check.
Watch me fail this one. Let me.
I mean, you're playing on horseback. It'd be understandable.
Maybe the Fae have different
that
taste
was
in that.
11.
I mean, that's above, like, mid-range. Barely. But, you know, it counts. And maybe the Fae like different music, who knows? They don't seem to mind too much when you mess up. They don't know the song. So they're just like, oh, this is a weird song, but okay. But they're not like super into it. None of them stay for very long. They kind of will like fly along, and then after a minute or so, they'll fly off, and then a little bit later, another one will show up. So you get rotating pixies as you go along your way.
Yep. Adding that to the quotes too. Rotating pixies. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it really is.
You know, like on a spit, rotating. Yeah. No, so yeah, you guys travel along. You get some okay music, and you come to a place where the Watcher stops, and it's starting to get closer towards dark. And it just kind of sits down. Like, okay, we'll camp here, I guess.
Okay. We'll start setting camp, I guess. After the traditional moment of confusion.
All right. Yeah. Setting up camp goes off without a hitch. Are you guys doing tiny hut, or are you?
We'll start ritual casting that.
Cool. I was gonna say, are you gonna rough it? Do tents, but okay. Perfect. And does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about in the hut?
Well, Clave is going to be working on some of the paintings of the things that they experience throughout the day, just so he's making a collection for Yorick.
Okay. Oh. Are y'all keeping watch?
Yeah, we'll stay up and keep watch.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
To help.
Alright. So I've got her Skinna, Kaleva, and Ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then X only has to trance for 4 hours, so he will help out as necessary. And of course, Gummy.
Owen will try to sleep unless they need her. She has no problems doing watch and states that very openly, but is also clearly tired.
Totally fair.
I think they've got it covered.
Yeah. Exuberance is also going to be like, I'm just going to sleep.
You're good.
Okay, so what order would y'all like to keep watch in?
Skinna can go first.
Clave will go second.
I guess I'll go third. Or fourth. Suppose that doesn't really make much difference. Third, then.
Okay. So there's our order. So first up, Skinna, go ahead and roll me a perception.
This die rolled a 5 again, and another 5 for Gummy, and then a 9 for Gummy, so I'm not doing good.
Oh my god.
That's 8 for Scanna and 13 for Gummy.
Okay. Alright. Yeah. So first bit of watch, everything goes peacefully. Nothing unusual. The Watcher is just chilling. Kind of stares at Skinna the whole time. But, not in a, unnerving way, just like you're interesting kind of way.
She doesn't really seem to mind.
Yeah. And your couple of hours go by, and then it is time to wake up Kaleva.
Yep, she'll go over to him and just kind of very, very, very lightly tap on his shoulder a couple times.
He'll shift awake and yawn and stretch and thank her and pour himself some coffee as he settles in for his watch.
And she curls up.
He will give me a perception. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say she curls up where he was laying because the ground is still warm there.
Yep.
That's a good plan. I like it.
Advantage for heightened senses?
Yes.
16.
Dirty 20 for Gummy.
Alright. So, this watch, Gummy notices those little flashes of color here and there in the forest around you guys. Once again, the same way that weird little big fairy thing caused before. No really sign of it, but just the flashes, hints of it off in the distance between the trees. Kaleva, you don't really notice anything. Everything seems chill. Peaceful, quiet, weird ambient sounds of the Feywild. And then it's time to wake up Ice.
Alright, he will go and take Ice's shoulder and give him a little shake.
There's a little bit of a jerk of surprise. And then a nod and a big stretch as he sort of sits up and settles in.
Coffee's by the fire.
Thank you. No coffee, though.
The zoomies he would get.
Yeah. Well, and there's another 2 hours of sleep to have. Ish.
Mm-hmm. Not for X anymore. He is now finished trancing and is just chilling, but quietly writing away in his little journals. So go ahead and roll me perception. You just did. Yep. Nice. So you also noticed those weird flashes among the trees. Throughout your 2 hours, they are starting to get closer. And then you see just on the very edge of the trees, between two of them, this thing, because I have the book out. Same as what a couple of people saw before. I believe last time it was X and Gummy that saw it. And it doesn't get close to y'all's bubble. You definitely can tell that it can't directly see you through the opaque outer shell. but it does seem very curious about where y'all are. And then it just kind of disappears, and you'll see the little flashes of color here and there, but that's about it for your watch.
So, during the watch,
Mm-hmm.
have a bit of a conversation. Isil sit a little closer to X.
Okay. Yeah, he closes his journals when you do so, and then looks up at you expectantly.
The court that we just left, what do you know of them?
Not a great deal. I do my best to avoid the area whenever possible. Fine enough, but volatile. All it takes is one wrong comment. And I'm not... Well, I am skilled at dealing with people, but Fae are a whole other matter. And I prefer to get in and out as quickly as possible. But I will do my best to go around the courts.
Probably well advised. But to your knowledge, they're ethical?
As ethical as Fae can be. Why? Not as bad as the Unseelie, but not as quote-unquote benevolent as the Seelie court would be.
I heard a scream as we left. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to cause a scene with our host. But I'm concerned that that may have not been the best decision.
He kind of regards you for a moment. Like he's a little surprised. And you chose to ask me about this.
You know the Feywild better than any of the rest of us.
I'll grant you that. Which direction was it coming from?
Inside the garden.
Well, I suppose at this point the best we can do is hope that it was one of those the Monarch mentioned. Finding themselves in their punishment, and hope it isn't anyone you all know.
But that's a new fear now, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Wasn't worried about that until now.
What were you concerned about?
I assumed it was a prisoner or someone being bound to the prison. But I worry that it's very on a whim as opposed to actual justice of any real sort.
I could admire that sense of concern. I have a feeling it's likely often a bit of both, depending on the mood. But They did say they sometimes let people out. So he was hoping if it was someone who doesn't deserve the sentence of a flower forever, that they won't be a flower forever.
Fingers crossed. And I
Yes.
suppose if we come back this way, I can ask.
I suppose if you'd like to put yourself out there, you're welcome to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have for today.
Yeah. More than I expected. I'll take it. You ready to head off to sleep then?
Yes. Thank you.
Alright, I will man my watch now. And hopefully it will be a peaceful one.
I'll go back and curl back up in his spot.
Y'all, X is rolling like shit tonight. I just need y'all to know that. I need somebody to know that. Because these rolls are bad. Like, Daarka, you and me are rolling the same numbers.
That's not my fault.
Nope.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
I'm
Throw the dice in the freezer to punish them.
oh,
Yeah.
Then you can use them as like ice
Ice
in your
cubes.
whiskey. Yeah.
Although, I wonder, well, I suppose the resin fully cured wouldn't be an issue that way.
I wouldn't call it food safe. Just
No.
disclaimer, so I don't like get sued by like a
Yeah.
random person on YouTube or something. Please don't eat my dice in any capacity.
Don't use them as ice cubes.
Don't use them in food prep. Don't let them touch things that you then put in your mouth. It's resin.
Not edible, decorative only.
Get the lovely ice like molds and
yeah.
like, cubes that look like dice because they make those.
They do, and they're not gonna make ice cubes that have swirly mica powder in them or anything, but
No.
they are gonna make ice cubes that won't kill you. And I think that's a fair compromise.
Totally. Well, and they have like food glitter. You can put like food glitter in them.
Yeah. And then as your ice melts, your drink gets all ingrided.
Delicious.
Ingrid.
Water with a side of glitter.
That's all she drinks.
That's
She
diet.
wakes up in the morning drinking water
No.
and glitter. Sorry.
That's great. I love it.
I love it.
Yep. Yeah, so Ice takes his watch, or Ice took his watch. There we go.
Yeah.
Got it. X takes his watch, and he rolled like shit, but he still met the DC, so I guess we won't throw him under the bus completely. It takes him until the weird giant fairy thing is like up to the dome, but behind him. And so he like turns around to look in that direction and then about jumps 8 feet in the air because holy fuck, that thing is close now.
Yeah.
And it is again like tapping because it can't get in. So it's just tapping at the dome, trying to figure it out. And kind of like feels along the ground all the way around it, like floating just barely off the ground with its hand on the ground at the base. Like, what is this thing? All the way around it. And then it kind of huffs and then drifts off. Oh, what's Gummy's roll?
Shit. It was 8 total.
Oh, that's right.
No, I never said that. It just happened again.
Oh man.
But, I mean, if it's tapping on the thing, he's
Yes.
probably gonna start hissing at it.
Remind me, is the dome
Not soundproof.
okay?
But
That's
he
what I
did
thought.
hiss at it last time and nothing
Yeah.
happened, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so cool. You tap on this thing and hissing happens. That's weird. What a weird bowl. What a weird upside down bowl. And it keeps at it for most of X's watch, and then finally like drifts off back towards the trees. And then the sun is up, and X wakes everybody up. Excuse me. Except for the Watcher who didn't sleep.
Big surprise.
Yeah. And he does mention the creature to you guys. Describes it in pretty well detail now that he's gotten 2 looks at it. And he looks concerned, but mainly because he doesn't know what this thing is.
Can I do a nature check?
Yeah, nature or arcana, I'll give you.
Okay. And I get advantage because it's regarding Faye.
Indeed.
Oh, Jesus. No. Okay, no.
Oh.
That's a 3 and a 6 total.
Oh.
I rolled a 1 and a
My.
4.
Oh my.
Oh.
Well, at least you had advantage. Okay. So
Leva looks close and just shakes his head.
what was the bigger number you said?
6.
6. Okay. Yeah. You've heard of like people-sized fairy with wings, but that's about it. Like they're not super common.
Mm-hmm.
So they're usually kind of freaky, but beyond that, you don't know what this thing can be.
Gotcha.
And if we would like, we can go ahead and take a break. And that will give me a chance to read over something really quickly to make sure that I remember it correctly.
Okay, I'm gonna go let the tantruming puppy out.
Okay.
I will be back.
There we go. Stop that.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, bye, Jules.
Okay, so that's how we're gonna win the game. Oh, wait, no, they're back. Never mind. Hi.
1 second. It's not registering my headphones, so I need to disconnect and reconnect. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like my mic is picking up the crunch, so
That's good.
yeah.
Okay, there we go. I think I got it. Somebody say something.
Hello.
Something.
Hello.
Okay, good. I got it. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Make sure. Oh, come on. Boundary. There we go. Get out. All right. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody wakes up, and Ice,
Yes.
you had some weird dreams after going back to sleep after your watch.
That's not terribly surprising.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute. You had dreams about you and the party, but like mainly you usually venturing through the Feywild like you have been.
Mhm.
And that thing that you saw at the edge of the trees, telling you about this really incredible creature that was like gooey and weird. And then like it tells you about a few different freaky creatures before it like settles on one.
Mhm.
And it finally settles on telling you about this weird plant creature that is essentially a living plant. It moves and goes around killing things, and it is huge, like bigger than anything you've run into in the Feywild so far. And it tells you about the idea of you guys all fighting it, and it sounds like this amazing adventure, and you get so much cool shit for doing so, and it's just the best. and then the dream fades from there. And this happens a few times before you wake up.
The same each time.
Pretty much. After the first time, it doesn't waffle around on the creature anymore, but it is the same one each time after that. And so when you wake up, I would like you to succeed on a wisdom save for me, please.
I like how you say that. I also would like me to succeed on a wisdom save.
Oh no.
Oh.
I don't think that will, though.
Oh.
No.
I want to note, on the screen, it looked like it was a 17. Plus the 3. The die
Yeah.
I'm using is
Oh,
like, it
that was
doesn't
wishful
seem to
thinking.
lay flat very well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, this dream sounds really fascinating to you. You don't have like the we need to do this right now, like I am being compelled to go do this kind of thing, but it just sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. And you are awake, and everybody else is awake. What's everybody doing?
Getting ready to go out on the road.
Yep. Gathering things. Looking a little thoughtful, a little curious.
Skenna will kind of wiggle over to Ice and holding Gummy, and she'll just be like, if you want, I can try to check and see who you heard screaming.
I think I like that idea, but will it slow us down?
Daarka pulls up things. Oh, I didn't manually take my long rest. Okay, please hold. Skinna just stands
yes,
there
let's
and
do
like
that.
chews
We have
on her
more.
lip for a minute. Can I ritual cast while I walk?
Don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
If you give me 10 minutes, that's all it will take. Nope. Instantaneous. No, it won't slow us down at all. Wait, no, it's ritual cast. Yes, I need 10 minutes.
That should be fine. It takes a little while to break camp anyway.
Okay, I'll just get started on that then. And she goes and pulls out some other dead thing from her inventory and sets about this process of burying it, basically. Mm-hmm. And as she's doing this, the opacity from her complexion is slowly fading away, and she ends up just looking gross, really gross and terrible. And she's going to cast divination, and she's going to see, okay, this is the weird part, is it says you ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. So if I just find a way to phrase this so that it kind of like talks about something that's already happened but makes it like a forward momentum thing, then that's not an issue, right?
That is a good question. So you're trying to figure out about the scream?
Yeah,
correct?
Wait, okay, no, I got it. She would ask, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this exactly. But she would ask if they, I guess, have, if they're going to feel regret based on finding out who that scream belonged to, I guess. Like, I don't know, is that a decent angle for that?
I could give you like a insinuation of like if you go back, would you kind of thing?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm trying to think, because like, so it's read the part before the to happen in 7 days.
You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. So, like, if she had asked if somebody that they knew and cared about was going to die before this happened, then, like, that would be no issue, but I'm just trying to figure out how to approach it, so it's, like, allowing for that retroactively, because I forgot about that little thing.
Yeah, no, you're good. So I could see it working, like, if you asked, like, if you guys went back to see what that was.
No, that's a good point.
Would you kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, you could ask that.
So,
mhm.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine, because then she would just ask, if we went back, would we, who would we find who had died if we investigated that?
Okay. I like that. And clever route there. Let's see. Let me think about how to word this, because you don't just get like a yes or no. Like, it's divination's fun, but I gotta think about wording. So one moment. And you asked, would you find someone you had cared about had died?
No, she asked if they go back and investigate it, who would they find?
Who would they find? Okay. I have the first part of the answer. I'm just trying to piece together how to word the last part. I apologize. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I ponder this. Okay. So there's a little bit of a pause. We'll say that was the 10 minutes of waiting just now. Then you ask the question, and there's a little bit of pause, and then you get in reply, the scales tip differently there, but one you have not encountered prior. That they did not tip in favor for.
So she'll get up and her complexion kind of returns to normal, and she just dusts off her hands and looks at Ice and goes, I don't think it was anything we'd be concerned about. It seemed like something unrelated to us.
That's good to know, at least. Not
anyone we all knew, says X. kind of.
No one that we knew, no. Though I honestly have no idea if my god counts you as one of the we, so that's a bit of a gray area. But nobody I knew.
Yeah, that's a bit of a fair point. All right. Yeah, so does that satisfy your concern? Ice and Skinner and everybody else?
I think so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys finished packing up camp while that was happening, and off you go. And as you travel, every so often, you have that dream kind of flash through your memory again. And there's just the slightest tug, but nothing too terribly insistent. It's not painful. It's just
Just there.
almost bothersome, but
Yeah.
not quite. You're going to the store and you're wandering around and you know you're forgetting something, but you can't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling.
Yeah. I get you.
Oh, I like gaming in the same room with you. I can see your face. And your middle fingers, thank you.
Yeah.
Diabolical.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So you travel on. The Watcher, there's a few times the Watcher, stops, considers, looks at you all, looks ahead of itself, and then sort of starts walking in a slightly different trajectory. It has to think about, okay, what's safe for these guys? This way, I guess. It is more guiding you now than it did before. Before it was just straight line, here we go. And now it actually seems to be paying attention to the direction you're going. It still doesn't seem to really care, but
Paying attention.
yes, you specified safe, so it's paying attention to what you guys would probably consider safe, it thinks.
I can appreciate that.
And anybody doing anything fun along the way? Owen playing more music, or anybody having any conversations as you travel?
I think she's playing more music, and I had a good idea of what.
Oh.
1 second, I just have to find it again. There we go.
Safety dance.
It just seems like a good jaunty walking tune, to be honest.
I can see that. All right.
I love this.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to conduct along the way?
So how would, what would the rules be as far as just sustenance hunting in the Feywilds?
For that, I would probably have you roll... let me see. I always forget which is which. So I'd have you roll survival. to try and find, if you'd like to find dinner. You probably have some rations and stuff too, but if you want to actually like have some real food,
Yeah.
yeah, I would have you give me a survival check to find something to hunt. And
Ooh, that's an 18.
very nice. Okay. Yeah, so you totally can manage to get something. Let me just see what. Not that. Oh, yeah. So you managed to get this small creature that sort of looks like a bird's head with like 4 eyes on each side. And then instead of bird wings, it has like bat wings, but then it also has arms that kind of look like rat arms, and then rat legs and a tail. But then it's like covered in leopard spots. Like, this is a freaky looking creature. But
It's a Daarka creation, or a sketch creation, I should say.
kind of.
Well, mutually inclusive.
Yeah. And it's like bright pink. Pink and purple with like whiter pink spots. And it is certainly freaky looking, but it's big enough that it has enough meat that you could feed everybody with it.
Excellent.
And this little thing is called a gutterkin.
He's just gonna do a quick field dress and then carry it with him to cook up at camp later.
I'll send a picture of it real quick.
I feel so terrible about this.
They're like freaky looking, but I love them so much.
It's so cute.
Cleva's gonna come back out of the woods carrying one of these dead things, and everyone's just gonna be like, "What have you done? You monster!" Oh my god.
It's adorable.
Scanner collects its eyes.
Oh god.
That sounds right.
That is totally fine. He will even give her the bones when he's done. I'm sure he'd like that she would like the skull.
She very much would. It has a lot of eye sockets in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
For some
And
reason, she's just
All I
very
could hear
drawn
was
to
there's
it.
a lot of eye sockets.
What?
My audio went out for a minute, and all I heard is there's a lot of eye sockets, but like
You
floating out
missed
of
nothing.
context.
No, just for some reason, she's quite drawn to this skull, and she is fascinated with it.
oh, I was muted. We will say this one also does have a bracelet around its neck, like a piece of jewelry. So somebody can have a bracelet too. It's not nearly as fancy looking as that. Looks just like a wristwatch. Hold on. Yeah, that's just a wristwatch. It's not a wristwatch. It's just a bracelet.
Cleva kind of holds it out to the others, like kind of in gesture of, "Does anybody want this?"
No, thank you.
Gummy is in the process of crawling up his leg.
Oh, it goes down Gummy's gullet.
Scanner just kind of looks apologetically and is like, "If anybody wants it, I'll get it back later."
Exuberance just slowly shaking her head like, no. And here's a fun thing that Kaleva, I'll say you actually know. So Gutterkin used to be like normal foresty creatures in the Feywild, but the chaos that has come out of the effects of the living light have kind of mutated them as magic gets sucked around in different areas. So no two are ever the same. So every bit of this thing is unique to itself, and you won't hunt another one that looks like it. So keep those prize bones, Skinner.
Good to know.
But they are all just mismatch animals. They're a little bit freaky. So they are specifically in their stuff. They have the trait meaty. So they're a good dinner, I guess. It has a decent. I think it says because it has a decent chunk of hit points, so they called it meaty. But I guess that means they're good dinner too.
Darn good eating.
Apparently. So yeah, that's lunch, we'll say.
Excellent.
How quickly... This is maybe a question for Justin, I'm guessing, or anybody else who might know. How quickly do adventurers travel? Y'all have horses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know, I think the DMG has an entire thing on that, and I don't know what it is because I haven't read that book for this edition.
Let's find out.
I don't have my 3rd edition book still looking there.
You got some echoing going on there. There you go.
I know. Somebody didn't mute. I know, right? It's so terrible.
I know.
Tell them I said I'm sorry.
They said
I heard it.
Okay. I was just gonna keep running that gag as far as I could. I am.
I'm just jamming out to the safety dance on the dulcimer.
Yeah, I can't listen to that without it. And hear anything else at all because of the way these headphones are.
Excellent. Okay. So, about the time you guys have lunch, the forest starts to shift a bit. It's starting to become a little more of a grassland, like you're nearing the edge of what the rift was. And you still can't see, there's the material plane right ahead. It's still, you're definitely in the Feywild kind of thing. The grass is still an off color, and the bushes are funky, and the sky's weird, and nothing is exactly as it should be, but at least it's starting to look more familiar in the shapes of things. Excuse me, sorry. And after about 2 hours of traveling that way, Ice, please give me another wisdom save.
Oh, great.
Oh, what'd you get? I missed it this time.
I got an 8. It's technically better, at least.
Sure. Yeah. So you get a couple of hours into this grassland area, and the further you go at that point, you just have this increased feeling that you are going the wrong way. That there's something you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing it, and you are going the wrong way. And I would like you to mark a level of exhaustion.
I have never done that before. Please be patient while I figure that the fuck out.
You're fine.
Oh wait, condition. Costume. Cool. So I think after a bit of that, maybe somewhere near the first hour, he'll sort of shift to right over closer to Kaleva. Are we sure this is the right way? Like, are we
Seems
sure
to
we
be.
trust him?
It's... I mean, the terrain's starting to look more familiar. I don't see that it has a reason to deceive us, or want to. It doesn't have any sort of ulterior motive, it just observes.
Well, is it? No, I don't want to have that argument.
Kaleva kind of tilts his head and furrows his brow at him in confusion. Why? What's going on?
Something feels wrong. I don't know. This doesn't feel like where we're supposed to be going.
And at this point in y'all's conversation, the Watcher stops and turns to look at the both of you.
Do the rest of us see this?
Yes, because it's walking along beside you still, so you would definitely see it stop.
Kaleva's gonna, just kind of look around the area, use his senses to try to see if there's anything dangerous about that might be causing Ice's unrest.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception check.
Alright. 15.
Okay. So initially there doesn't seem to be anything directly wrong. But every now and then if you look back the way you came, way off in the distance, there's like a bigger flash of light among the trees. Just every few seconds.
Kaleva stops and turns, and he's like looking back behind them and trying to catch sight of where those flashes are, like if he can pinpoint them or if they're scattered.
They are definitely coming from the same place.
You guys see that?
Do we see it when he points it out?
Yes.
Definitely turn and look.
Yes, I see it. What, does it look like anything that we would recognize?
So, from that first night's watch, Gummy recognizes, like, the way the light is flashing is similar to the flashes of color that were around you guys before that fairy thing showed up. X also recognizes this, but I don't think anybody else would. And Ice you would.
Yes.
But it's much bigger flashes of light than just the little, like, light catching something and making the color flash. This is, like, on purpose, like somebody with a mirror flashing light kind of thing.
You think that's one of the things we might have been tasked with killing along the way?
That would very much be a problem right now, but I don't know. Do we want to go look closer?
Can. I saw something like that last night.
Yeah, Gummy's seen it on at least a watch or two.
Would it be... X, do you know anything about what would be causing that?
So it looks similar to... There was this large, well, us-sized fae creature that just looked like a very large pixie. It kept messing with the dome at night, and it had some sort of little flashes of color following it in the trees as it moved, but it was covered in trinkets, I think. So it could be from that. I'm not entirely sure.
Leba looks back to Ice. Do you think that's what's got you unnerved, or do you think we're heading into something that we shouldn't be?
I don't know. This feels like the wrong way. But maybe that's got something to do with it? It's not that far back. We could go check it out.
I think we should. We did make an oath to the Monarch.
Yeah, is there one of us that we could send? No, I bet we should all just go together. I was gonna suggest somebody kind of scout it out, but we might as well all just go.
It is about a 2-hour trek back to where that light is coming from.
Actually,
Further than I thought.
What's that?
I said, oh wow, that's further than I thought.
Yeah, she's gonna look to the Watcher and just, like, obviously they know, they're aware of this too, and so she's just gonna be like, is this... Do you know what this is?
Nods once.
Is it dangerous to us if we were to walk over there?
Its head kind of tilts side to side, and then it shrugs.
Okay. Is this... And she explains the promise that they made to the Monarch, and she'll go, is this something that would fall under that we should go investigate because we promised to do that?
Related to the living light, specifically?
Yeah.
It shakes its head at that.
She just kind of looks to everybody else. I don't know. I mean, we could still go look at it, but if they know what it is, and I have no reason to doubt that they're being honest, it doesn't sound like we would be breaking a promise to ignore it.
Yeah, if it's not related to the Light Eater, then I think we're okay to keep moving. Glaiva still seems a little bit troubled because he trusts Ice's judgment, and if he thinks they're going the wrong way, he's hesitant to just keep moving forward, but... He scratches the back of his neck and looks back to Ice. What's your gut telling you? Where do you think we should be going?
Back.
Back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it straight back? Is there a, like, that feeling? Or is it
It's
not that?
It's an area,
Yeah. Okay.
so like that direction.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of he'll sort of point back with a little bit of a wide wave towards the spot that feels right, I guess is the best way to say that.
How long have you been feeling like we're going the wrong way?
So it started 2
no,
hours
Skin is
out from
asking that.
lunchtime. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
but I'm clarifying for Justin.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
It first caught me a couple hours ago.
When Ice was on watch, would Gummy have seen anything happen? Because out of character, I know when this started. But, like, would Gummy have seen anything, like any sort of spell cast or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Skenna's gonna chew her lip for a little bit and then go cast tongues on the Watcher.
Okay.
And she's just gonna be like, this probably is something that could use an actual discussion and not just yes and no answers. Are you sure we're going the right way?
We are going the safest direction to the village you sought.
What's back there? And she gestures to where Ice gestured.
And it kind of looks back that direction and then looks at you. It's like many things are that direction. The court, many of the Fae creatures. But I feel you speak specifically of the creature calling to your friend.
Oh, there's a creature and she looks back at Ice. Did something happen that we're not aware of?
Not that I know of. I saw something last night, like that light, but...
Well, Gummy saw it too, but just to be clear, the first time that Gummy saw that, like, was it basically the exact same encounter, or like...
So the first night that you guys kept watch in the Feywild, Gummy saw the actual creature after seeing those flashes of light, because it came and tapped at the top of the dome.
Right.
And then this second time around, but
like,
he might have seen.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Because he rolled pretty low perception for this most recent night, right?
Gummy did? No, Gummy... oh yeah, no, Gummy on Ice's turn was like an 8 or something, I think.
Yeah. So he might have seen the flashes of light, but not the creature itself. But then he did see it on X's watch.
Yeah, but like, so when he saw it on X's watch, nothing like happened to X, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, because Daarka can connect the dots, but I'm trying to figure out like what it's presumably safe for Gummy and Skenna to deduce here, and I think that would be weird, but I don't think she would immediately tie that together.
You said there was something calling to our friend?
Yes.
Hear anything?
Do you know what? What's calling to him?
tough. He just walked up and shoved his nose right into my side. I'm slightly ticklish.
Oh my god, I about jumped out of my skin.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh god, what was the question? You know what it is?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Skinner was asking what was calling him.
Oh yes. It nods and says, I do know, but I cannot advise in this situation.
Oh, can you tell us what it is?
Kind of looks around at you all. 1 second, I'm gonna roll a dice. Crazy, I know. Okay. It says it is called an exoticoat.
And she looks at
Exotic oat?
yeah, like oats. but from a different
Exoticoat.
place.
Hold on.
Oh. Yeah, Skinner will look at Clave and be like, do you know what that is?
Here, I heard exotic oats. The new brand of cereal. Have I heard anything? Can I do a roll?
I mean, you could, but I'm not gonna make you because the answer would be no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kaleva. Shit. Exotic coat. No, Kaleva just shakes his head. Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
She'll look back at the Watcher. What kind of entity is it?
I'm so sorry. You're about to learn how truly useless the Watcher is. Because it... Oh, I lost a headphone. It blinks at you and then says it is Fae.
Do you know anything about its behaviors, its mannerisms, its motivations?
It nods.
Would you like to share them with the class?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
I would like to see what you choose to do.
well, that's inconvenient. Okay, well,
I think we should keep going if this... If he gestures to Ice, if this is what's giving you that feeling that we're going the wrong way, if it's trying to lure you back to it, we should probably try to resist that and keep going. Will you be able to?
I guess if that's a thing, I'll try.
We have permission to tie you up if necessary.
Exuberance is like, oh, I can handle that.
Excellent.
There's a glare. I don't like the idea of that, but yeah, okay.
At least promise I'd only do that if it seemed like you were unable to control yourself and it was for your safety.
if it would make you guys feel better, I'm out of dead things to bury, but I could.
Beleva holds up the corpse of the thing that he killed earlier, suggestively.
Scanna politely shakes her head. I'm sorry, it has to be worth 25 gold.
Oh my god.
But I can do something a little bit more rudimentary and just try to figure out if going back would be a good or bad idea objectively. And we can at least feel good then about what we choose to do.
That seems reasonable.
Okay. And she sits down on the ground and spends a minute casting augury, and she's going to ask about what would happen. Would it be a good idea to follow this thing's call or not? And that will only give her weal or woe, or weal and woe, or nothing.
You know, I love augury in concept, but boy, it is hard. Because it's always a complicated question.
I can rephrase it if you want. Like, she's asking, more importantly, is it something that they would regret doing if they did not go back? Does that narrow it down any?
It does. I like that. That's very good wording. Oh. Would you regret going back? I will say you get... Fuck, how does that... Is wheel yes and woe no? Is that how we're doing that?
I guess. Yeah, what was bad? So yeah, maybe that question is phrased in a way that isn't super friendly to that, but sure, wheel is yes, woe is no.
Okay, so would you regret going back? The answer would be whoa, which would be no.
Right.
You won't regret? Yeah, okay.
So Skenna picks up the bones and just stands up again. Yeah, we're good to keep going. It's nothing that we would regret missing. So
Wait. I'm sorry.
No being we would not regret going back. Wait, fuck. No, I fucked that
Yeah.
up. Okay.
No, you're good. I wanted to make sure. I was like, wait, did I mix it up? Okay.
Okay, so she'll stand up and she'll instead say, okay, so this got more complicated. I thought I was gonna make it a little bit more watertight in what I was asking by the way I asked it, but I don't think I did. In fact, I'm not sure we have a concrete answer. Anyways, I was trying to figure out if we would regret not going back, and I get the feeling that we wouldn't regret going and following it, which is extremely confusing in this situation. So it's probably not something outright malicious. Wait, no. I've confused myself. Fuck.
Do you need help?
Like, okay.
How about this? Do you want the question to have been, would we regret not going back?
That's what it was.
Okay, then I mixed it up and I apologize.
Okay, yeah.
The answer then would be yes.
Oh, okay. So then she'll stand up and Be like, we should. Okay.
God, I'm so sorry.
Round 3. She stands up and she's like, so this kind of sucks, but we would regret not going back right now.
Okay, I trust your guys' judgment.
I hesitate to say my judgment has anything to do with this. I looked at some bones, but I got a really good vibe, I guess.
I mean, considering the source of your abilities.
Yeah.
Vibe check.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, you're gonna be able to talk for a little while longer, she says, pointing at the Watcher. Will you let us know maybe if something is coming that we, You're not gonna do that, are you?
No.
Okay, never mind. I guess lead the way, Ice.
I will do so. I guess.
Leva hates this so much.
Scanna doesn't feel great about it either.
Ice feels great. This is right. This is good. I am less of a fan.
I'm just putting it out there. Kaleva's going to be on high alert, and he is watching their surroundings like a hawk.
Yeah, Scanna is too, and Scanna's specifically looking where they're going to see if she sees anything before it sees them.
Okay. So because everybody is on such high alert, and I take it unless Ice is like rushing on in, everybody's going pretty cautiously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will let you guys do a group perception check with advantage.
Oh god,
What does that
I roll
involve?
so many fucking dice.
So everybody gets to roll with advantage, and then I will kind of
Average it
figure the average, of the group.
Okay.
There's mine.
out. So that's 4d20. Okay. Oh my fucking god. My highest was an 11.
My highest was a 14, which is, average.
Yeah.
My dice
14.
usually roll so much better than this.
Yeah, I've rolled 4d20 and my highest after modifiers is 14. So there's that.
Jeez. Okay, X. Overachiever.
Showing everybody up. Jeez.
Look, you don't want to know what he adds.
Special snowflake.
He's basically made for that. Okay. God, y'all.
Brought a freezy pup to my desk, but I forgot to bring something to cut it open. 1 second.
Teeth.
I'm going to do some actual math really quick to figure out the actual average, because I want to know if you guys beat this thing.
I think usually it's just anything over a 10 is a success and anything under a 10 is a failure, and then you, like, tally the successes against the failures. But I also don't know if that's, like, the prescribed way you're supposed to do it, so whatever works.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Don't worry, this is not too hard. y'all should be fine, but I'm just really curious. Okay. So... Oh wait, what did Izzy get? I mean, Owen. Izzy!
I can just stop. Sorry, I heard my name, but a lot of it was cut out. I heard math.
Oh no. Can you give me a perception roll with advantage?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Oh no, are you cutting out a whole bunch?
Enough in chunks. I have been fiddling with stuff in the background.
Okay. Feel free to let me know if you miss anything else big. Or if
I
you feel
promise
like...
I will. I was hoping it would just pop back, but then I realized, oh, none of those were good. It was 3 and 5.
With your modifiers?
For perception, it's -1.
Oh no. So were they a 2 and a 4, or was it a 3 and a 5 total?
That'll be a 4 and a 6 if she has a -1. Right?
That's what I meant.
Math.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't get along with math, so I looked at it like, if it doesn't show me, I don't know.
Okay. You did. So, with successes and everything, anyways, you guys did manage to pass. Congrats. But even by, like, the strict average of the numbers, you also succeeded. So, bravo. That was my curiosity, because I was like, this is actually pretty close. Just the average, but you did it.
You did it.
Huzzah.
So as you get closer, it takes a couple of hours before anything big happens. But as you near the forest, the flashing light stops. And Ice, you feel like you are absolutely going the right way now, and all you can think about is that dream that you had, just over and over and over.
There is a strange pet to this.
A what?
Pet.
Oh.
Walking a little more lightly.
And you all eventually see X and Ice see it first and point it out, and then everybody else sees it. The Exoticote among the trees, kind of peeking out around you, at you guys, looking absolutely delighted to see Ice.
Of course it is.
And I think I posted a picture of it last time, but I can post it again if you guys would like the reminder.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Yes. So they are peeking out around, and as you all spot it, it realizes, oh, I've been seen, and like ducks behind the tree.
Kalib was looking to X to see, or not X, Ice to see what he does.
Huh. I think he'll sort of lean in towards people and be like, point. That's the thing I saw. That's the one.
Yeah, that was there the night that X and Gummy were keeping watch too.
Yes, I think it's been following us.
I think it's the same one.
Does it look like the same one?
Yes.
Skinna nods.
Down to the trinkets.
Yeah, even the stuff it's carrying is identical. I don't think there's any confusion there. You think we should just go try to approach it? Ice, do you wanna... It seems to know you in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
She'll tap his shoulder and cast guidance on him.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you need a peace offering or anything to sway it, Kaleva pulls out the gemstone hairpiece that he picked up off that orc in like one of our first episodes.
Oh.
And passes it over to him. Because it's covered in trinkets, it might like the shiny.
Yeah. Well, okay, thanks. So there's a sort of moment of him, I guess, psyching himself up first. Just... Okay. And Ice will go approach the facing, kind of slowly, keeping himself a little low, crouch down a little bit. Hello?
And it kind of peeks around the tree and blinks at you a moment, and then in common, says, "Hello?"
Hi. Why are you hiding?
I don't want you to hurt me.
Why would we hurt you?
Sometimes people do.
Sort of looks back at everyone else.
If it doesn't harm us, I don't see why we would harm it.
Well, I don't see why we would. You're not going to try and hurt us, are you?
No.
Then why would we hurt you?
Some people don't like me. You had the dream, yes?
I do dream. Sometimes.
You had the dream about the mother. The plant. Very large.
I did have a dream about that, yes. Why?
I saw you. I've been watching. You're adventurers, but you've seen a lot. And I think you could beat it.
Maybe.
Oh, I certainly think you could.
We have a lot to do.
Won't you always? Everyone has a lot to do. Always, all the time, many things.
Hopefully not.
It would be such a wonderful story to tell and a wonderful adventure to have.
we're already on an adventure.
Much more boring. No fighting.
I mean, we fought Lark, and he's turning now, like sort of facing between them, so he can sort of easily look instead of having to turn all the way around. We fought Lark, and we fought the Light Eater creature, and the wolves, and what else? The dandelions. We fought plenty of things. Also, I usually get hurt.
Yes, but I didn't see any of them. I want to see this one. I want to watch you beat it.
Then come with us and we'll fight something and you'll see it.
This thing.
Why this thing?
It's making the forest disgusting. We can't have disgusting forest. And I want.
Wait. How so?
It corrupts. It brings rot and decay.
That's just nature.
No. Not like this.
What if we go to see this thing for ourselves and make our decision then?
If you would like to, that's fine. You'll fight it. You'll see. If you don't, you'll keep having dreams. And the smile on this thing's face at that is like big grin, big mischievous. Haha, I got you grin.
We'll see. I'll go back to everyone else. I'm assuming that they were far enough away they didn't really hear both sides of it.
Probably not a lot of it. They might have been able to hear you, but not the exotic code. It has kind of a raspy, higher pitched voice as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully I came across on the mic, though.
I liked it. But also I'm hearing you twice, so... So yeah, he'll go back and... It wants us to fight something that it says is making the forest gross.
I mean, it's the Light Eater, isn't it?
Or it just could be something else that's corrupting the forest.
I have seen it. I can describe it. But may I? Thank you. It is an extremely large... Yeah, I stand by my exact words, thank you. Like, pitcher plant-looking creature.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, you know the like leaf that covers a pitcher plant?
Yeah.
So that, like, that's like the top of it, and that leaf is like up a little bit, and it looks like there's eyes kind of glowing in the...
That's awful.
Yep. It looks horrible. I am deeply disgusted by its existence. Yeah. Oh, I should describe the thing it's carrying too. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it has what looks like a skeletal corpse, but all you can really see is the skull, because the rest of it's wrapped in like vine tendril things.
Hmm.
And it's carrying it like a baby, like curled up near the what would be the top of the chest. But yeah, there's certainly a possibility that it might be something corrupted by the Light Eater. Or the living light here, sorry. And I think probably we should at least investigate and see if it is.
Alright.
Yeah.
Is this something it expects you alone to fight, or are we allowed to fight together in this?
Oh, I think it wants me alone to fight it, but I don't really care.
That's probably a good thing to not care about.
And it is kind of drifting after you at this point. Like, it never touches the ground. It's a solid 6 inches off the ground at any given moment. But it's kind of like following you, Ice, to listen in on this conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. I am decidedly unhappy with it.
Just kind of gives a little wave.
It waves back.
Are you coming with us then?
I can. Are you?
Are you going to be able to help us then if you come with us?
No.
I don't necessarily mean in combat. I mean with the entire journey of getting there and everything else we have to do. Are you willing to help?
Yes, I'll show you where to go.
That
I'll
would
show
be
you.
helpful.
And he will fight it, and it will be a wonderful, wonderful time.
Well, all of us are gonna fight it. You can sit out if you want, but if we fight
I
it,
suppose.
He can't do it alone. She kind of looks at Ice like, I don't know, do you want to do it alone?
I mean, I might could, but I don't want to.
Maybe we'll play it by ear and just see what happens.
We can
If you
also
must.
we can also help you out in certain ways too. Like Hiel left us the scrolls.
Yeah. And I can heal you from a distance.
Either way, we're not gonna let you die.
No.
Appreciate that, thank you. So I guess we'll go.
The exotic coat does a little spin in the air in absolute delight.
Of course it does.
And X heaves a very tired sigh. And I will note, you do still have that point of exhaustion. You feel like you're not going the wrong way anymore, but that has still stuck.
No, I figured. Wait, is it still marked? Yes.
And it will take the lead in place of, well, the Watcher wasn't really leading, but it's definitely leading. Like gleefully just fluttering along ahead of you guys, every now and then stopping to look and make sure you're following, and then continuing on. And it just looks like
So
it's
happy.
been given a year of free dessert. Like, it is gleeful, yeah. And as you go through the forest, you know, you're back in the forest that you had just left.
Yeah.
And it leads you not back the way you came, but like perpendicular to the way you had been going. Kind of sideways off into the forest in a very winding path. And the further you get, the more the darker things get. Not in the sky, but in the forest itself. It's like, it's becoming less of a pretty storybook forest and more of like the bad guy's forest where the bad guy lives in the Disney movies. Like,
More actually Grimm's Tales.
yes. Like, there's more gnarly looking rooty trees with really dried flaky bark and less leaves, more patches of bare earth instead of grass. The bushes are a little more twiggy and thorny. Just less and less like a welcoming place, less flowers, until it reaches a like almost a cave, but it's all made out of forest growth. So like vines and roots and stuff that have just shaped themselves into this cave entrance. And there it stops and it turns towards you all and kind of gives another little twirl in the air that propels it upwards about a foot before it drifts back down to about 6 inches off the ground. And has a big, very sharp-toothed smile. All the little trinkets jingling as it wiggles. It's just so excited. And it points straight back into the cave and says, "It's in there. Just right through there. You'll find it. You'll find it. It'll be wonderful. It'll be such an exciting watch. And then I'll get all sorts of goodies."
Skinna's gonna insight check the Exoticoat to figure out if this is like a really elaborate, like, "Hey kids, will you help me find a puppy" type of situation.
You want some candy? Come in my van. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no one's this excited about anything. So. Insight 19.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, so... Oh, that's so funny. You beat by 1 point. It genuinely is extremely excited to see, I specifically, but all of you, fight this creature that it has described. And, like, it's not in a malicious sense, it just really wants to see this thing. And you get the sense that this is kind of how this thing finds its enjoyment, is doing this awful thing to adventurers that make them want to go and fight things that it wants them to fight.
Skinna just kind of squints at it. And she's just like, "How is it affecting the forest exactly?"
Well, this thing grows in blood. When blood is shed on the forest ground, these sprout forth. And it's like gesturing with its arms. They sprout forth and they spread rot and decay. And I mean, you see the forest. This forest looks like the forest where you found me before. But it lures things here, and it gobbles them up. I've tried to get other adventurers to come, but they weren't as good as you guys, so it ate them.
And how many of these would you say are populating the Feywilds? Are they a common species?
No, not super common. There's just one here. But they do grow in other places.
Alright, and what happens when it's dead? You just get your entertainment and then you're done and you're happy and that's it? And we get to go on our way?
I'll take the treasures from the people it ate.
No. See, here's the thing. If we're doing all the work and you won't even help us fight it, then why would you get the payment for it?
Oh, no. Not payment.
Well,
Shinies.
okay.
And it kind of jiggles its arm.
I'm not saying payment has to exclusively be gold pieces, but you are getting something in reward for work that you didn't do. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
I led you here. I found you.
How about we give you a share of it? But if you're not going to help us fight it, I don't understand how it's fair that we kill something, potentially die in the process, and we walk away and then you get all the shinies. That doesn't... You hear how that sounds, right?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Can she guide herself?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh fuck, I gotta get a D4 out if I'm gonna do that. Where's a D4? I don't want all those D4s. They're mean. I want a nice D4. There we go. Persuasion? Oh good, that's a +1. Okay, +1, so that's a dirty 20, +3 is 22. 23, I can do math.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. This thing has a very high charisma, but I'll take that. That's a really damn good roll. Yeah. So it kind of flounders a little bit, mostly for show. And then sighs and says, I guess we can split it. I'll be nice and full afterwards anyway.
Oh, you're gonna eat?
Or
Or do you feed on this experience or something?
yes.
Okay, got it.
Very smart. So smart.
Thank you. I study. So...
Yeah.
She's a scholar.
What?
Sorry. Crossover from the other game.
Yeah.
She's a scholar.
I'm a scholar. Jesus. Skinner would say that and like be very innocent about it, not understand why it's like a derogatory thing. She's like, yeah, I'm a scholar. Why are you laughing? Anyways, she's gonna just kind of look at everybody else then and go, okay, so we kill this and then I guess we assess the loot and have a civil conversation with everybody. And she looks back at the Exoticote about who gets what and what's fair. And we're all good with that?
Assuming we choose to fight it.
Oh, yes, we could definitely decide it's above our heads and just leave.
I mean, we probably should, but...
And she kind of leans over to him a bit and she's like, the dice did say that we would regret not doing this.
I think it should be established that since Ice has been... I'm sorry, he would use the name Summer. Since Summer has been the one requisitioned for this and is kind of out in front in all of this, he gets first pick of the loot.
Sure.
As we divvy it up.
I suppose.
I think it will probably also come down to Summer as to whether or not we fight it at all. If he's the star of the show here. So, do we want to poke our head in and see what it's about?
So see.
Okay.
Just gonna slaps guidance on Ice again.
I am going to sneak in and take a look around. Okay. You want to unmute yourself before you say those things? So
Oh, yep. Thank you. Give me a sneaky check. or I guess stealth check.
Are the rest of us hanging back while he pokes his head in?
And guidance adds a D4 to that, right?
Yeah, you add a D4.
Great.
Are you
I don't.
hanging back?
Oleva wants to stay within 60 feet so he can cast the Shield of Faith scroll when needed.
Okay.
Let me actually, because that's not a bad idea, but I want to look at the casting time on that just in case.
One more.
One
so
action. Okay. Actually, yeah. As they're starting to do this, Skenna's gonna cast the Greater Scroll of Aid, so everybody gets 5 additional hit points. Or your hit point maximum increases by 5.
Nice.
So override max HP at 5?
Yes, just put 5 in there and then click out of it and it should update. And then those will go away on a long rest, I believe, which is fine because the spell lasts 8 hours.
Oh, I switched my HP to 5. Let's not do that.
No, that's not.
Don't
not
do
the
override.
magic. Max HP modifier. I misheard you.
Oh, okay.
So who all is going to sneak up with ice, if anyone?
Kaleva will.
Skenna will send Gummy and then just tail at a longer distance.
Owen looks like she knows better and stays in this place.
She is probably smart. Oh. Okay. So, yeah, if you are going ahead, go ahead and roll me stealth.
My thing is all screwed up now. You just... screw it. Okay, there.
That's a 20 for Gummy.
Alright, let's see here. Ooh!
Yeah.
25.
I'm actually going to roll for exuberance really quick because I feel like she is not going to let you go by yourself.
I, for one, appreciate that.
Even though you're not going by yourself, she's still not going to let you go by yourself. Oh, she should have waited.
Do what?
She can hide behind Gummy.
Yeah, she should have waited. Yeah, she will be the last one in line, we'll say. Okay. So you guys, the 4 of you, sorry, I can do math, head on in, and it's pretty dark, but you're pretty sneaky. Gummy and Exuberance keep kind of half stumbling, half tripping over like vines and shit. But in general, the group travels pretty well. Until you reach near the back. Not all the way to the back, because this thing is huge. For scale, I'm gonna put something on the map really quick. Or I'm gonna put something on the screen, rather. Oh no, it's not measuring for me. Hold on. Oh no.
It probably won't measure a drawing. You want to do a template?
Here we go. Is that tile controls? No.
Template?
Why can I not find that? Where is that?
It's the second one down after the little person.
Oh. Oh, yes. Okay. So... This is the space it would take up on a map compared to you guys. It's big.
No, it's only a little big.
Yeah. Just a little bit huge. And yeah, the pitcher plant description was actually pretty good. It definitely has a maybe corpse. All you can see is the skull wrapped up in its vines and is cradling it like an infant. Little tendrils are coming up off of this thing that have big leaves at the top of them, and it does have arms with very long claws. This thing looks poisonous. And I will send a picture so you can all see what you are looking at.
Oh, I hate that.
But I told you.
You can put that back. That's put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
They showed me that picture, and like my immediate reaction was just a bit of a gag.
Yeah.
It's gotta smell so bad.
I know, right?
I can delete the picture if y'all would like, but
No, that's fine.
No, it's already in my brain. It's not gonna leave now.
It's too late.
I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's what you are looking at.
Seen other things that are similarly veiny and terrible looking. So
They usually don't have infants attached to them, though.
Jesus.
Or flies buzzing around
Appreciate
them.
y'all. I just want to note that.
I can't believe that your mic did not pick up any of that cackling.
I can't either. I was watching it.
I'm kind of disappointed.
I know, it's terrible. This mic is too good for me. I need it to pick up more things. Like, jeez.
Yeah, so that's what you see. And you know, so Kaleva gets like Ice and Kaleva get there and they're totally sneaky, it's totally fine. And then Yomi and Exuberance get closer and it kind of turns to look near the entrance of the cave. And it is looking directly at you guys. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Yeah, I see.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Well, that's gonna be fun.